The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Why would you answer this call? Why would you answer this call? Why?
Hello? Hey, man, what's up? Oh, fuck. Oh, come on, man. You're happy to hear
really starting to get mad at Tony.
Well, you know, he wants us to keep taping, so here we go. Got to push out that Indiana Geeking content.
Well, it helps out Tony, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Anyhow, you ready for 2020 Summer of the Shark Part 3?
Oh my god, how many more parts of the Summer of the Shark are there?
Well, this is August. This is the last month in summer, so this is our last Summer of the Shark 2020 movie.
Thank God.
Yeah.
These shark movies have been terrible.
Oh.
They have not been fantastic.
I think they've been pretty good.
No. So, how are you going to try to sell me on this week?
Okay. Tell me if you've heard of any of these actors. Jamie Foxx.
I know who Jamie Foxx is.
Sylvester Stallone.
I'm fully aware who Sylvester Stallone is.
And someone from a superhero movie.
I like superhero movies.
Oh, you'll love this movie, because this has Jamie Foxx's daughter, Sylvester Stallone's daughter, and the new Stargirl in it.
Wow. I love Stargirl. It's actually a really fun show.
Well, anyhow, we'll watch the movie, and
yeah,
you'll love it, I promise.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I mean, I can't really come over, but I guess I can sit on my couch and watch this movie with you and then tell you how terrible it was.
Oh, well, whatever gets you going, buddy.
All right. I'll see you Friday night.
In this month's episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not, the group is still social distancing, but Matt still has ways to sucker Josh and producer Mike into the virtual SFP to watch movies. This time, they're wrapping up Matt's Summer of the Shark with 2019's 47 Meters Down, Uncaged, which follows 4 teenage girls who go diving in a submerged Mayan temple only to get lost and find out it's home to great white sharks. How will they react? How many times will they mention Mean Girls? Let's listen to the trailer and then find out.
Hey, I almost forgot to show you guys what I found this morning.
See great white sharks in their natural habitat.
It's awesome.
This is for tourists.
You really want to spend all day on a boat? I am going to take you to a place that no tourist would ever find in a million years.
How did you even find out about this place? Let's go. Okay, turn your lights on.
Sasha, you can barely get your ass through there.
Well, at least I have an ass. The entrance is just at the bottom of the steps. You guys ready for this? Oh, this place is insane. What is that? It's an emergency alarm. Can you feel that? Current! I'm slipping! Help! Guys, there's a shark!
What are we gonna do? You don't have a choice. You have to go back down.
Nobody made it through. This place is a maze. We're going to die down here. Come on! I'm dead! I'm dead! Stop it behind you! No!
Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on, man. That movie was baller.
That movie was terrible.
The movie was great.
Dude, the cinematography was terrible. The movie was terrible. The plot was terrible. Everything about that movie was absolutely terrible.
I know the plot was crazy. Really crazy.
It was dumb.
That was an entertaining and fun movie to watch.
There was nothing entertaining about that movie.
Whatever, dude. I'll tell you what. We're going to bring in a guest like we've only had for the last, 3 weeks straight. And we're going to bring in from the Comic Carnival podcast and our real lives, Mike Wycliffe.
Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come
no,
on.
I'm just kidding. I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah, I was like,
damn it, Mike.
Okay.
I just wanted a chance to say, Matt, you son of a bitch.
Well,
it's fun to say, isn't it?
A little bit. Say what?
Yeah, it's really fun to say.
Say you don't have to say it on the podcast.
Oh, I say it when we're not on the podcast all the time. I just wanted it recorded.
Yeah. It gets tweeted out at least once a week, I think.
Oh, you guys.
So, Mike.
Yeah?
How'd you like this fantastic movie that we just got to watch?
I mean, it's a dumb movie, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Ish.
See, those are the best kinds of movies. They're dumb fun.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I did.
I mean, there's a lot wrong with it. From the lack of basic understanding of physics to, just general dumb. It just, it's not a good movie, but not good doesn't necessarily mean not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have just named this movie Mean Girls 3 Shark Attack.
Yeah, they could have. Why don't you give us a lowdown on the plot, Josh?
Okay. So this plot, you can't see my air quotes, obviously.
But we can hear them.
You can definitely hear the air quotes because I tried to make that happen. So basically, you've got this husband and wife who got married. It's their second marriage, and they each have a kid. And like the wife's kid's like really cool, but the husband's kid's kind of like a nerd. Her name is Mia, and no one likes Mia. So like the opening scene to this movie is Mia is, well, first the opening scene of this movie was like super long and drawn out and took forever, and there's a ton of stupid slow-mo in this movie.
So
kind
of like your explanation at the moment?
Yeah, exactly my explanation moment. So I'm just trying to fill in the storyline here, Mike. So we see Mia's like flailing around in water. So you're like, oh, does the movie start with a shark attack? That'd be a little different. But no, it doesn't. She just got pushed into a pool at school because every school I know has an outdoor pool right out the front door. That's a common thing. But apparently Mexico, when you're rich, that is a common thing. So, and then like Sasha, which is the wife's daughter, comes out and just kind of looks and like doesn't really do anything. And then they get into the car with her mom, with a Jeep or whatever it is. And then they go, and then like the mom, like the stepmom's being like all super like compassionate, sensitive, like, oh, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And then the dad, who's like Sasha's stepdad's like, you've got to look out for her because you guys have to stick together or whatever. And so like it's dumb. So anyways, they're like eating dinner and stuff, and they were supposed to all go out and do something together, but then like the dad found this brand new city that no one's ever found before that's underwater. So he sends the daughters off on a glass boat trip to look at sharks. And I'm like, oh, cool, another Jaws movie. We're going to go get on a boat and look at sharks, and the boat's going to get attacked by sharks. And we're going to make a bunch of you're going to need a bigger boat jokes. But no, that's not what happened. So they get to this tour, and the Mean Girl's there, which is played by the girl who plays Stargirl in the new Stargirl series, which I love, by the way. And she's like all being bitchy and stuff because that's what she does, because she's a mean girl. She's like Regina George all over again. And so then another Jeep pulls up, because there's a lot of Jeeps in this movie, which is kind of weird. It's like Jeep sponsored the movie or something. And like there's these two other girls, and they're like mean girls too, but they're like cool mean girls. They're not like real mean girls like the other bitch. And so like they're like,
hey, let's go do something else. It's like no tourists, so we'll build a fun. It'll be really fun. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And Sasha's like, oh yeah, I'm on board. It sounds like fun. Let's go have fun. And then Mia's like, well, I don't know. And then they're like, oh, just do it. And then finally she's like, okay, I'll go do it.
So they get this Jeep, and then they go out, and they go out to this like middle of the nowhere, and they're just like walk in, kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there's a big scene there of them walking. It's pretty epic.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. I think we're in like Mordor or something. I have no idea. So anyways, so then they get this like
not simply walk into Mordor. Come on.
I know it does not. So then they finally get like this edge of this cliff, and they see this like gorgeous lagoon or whatever you want to call it. It's like little lake. It's in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, oh, this is so pretty. And they're like, how do we get down there? And they're like, well, there's a path over there, or we could jump for it. And then they all jump into it. It's a big scene, and then they're all like splashing around and jumping in the water and just like, ha 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 ha! This is so much fun. We're having so much fun. And then,
ladies and gentlemen, we are 10 minutes into the movie at this point.
It's pretty lame. And so then they're like, oh, look, there's all this scuba gear. We should dive down and see the underground city because we're all experienced cave divers. That's what we should do because that always ends well. And then, of course, there's this one girl the entire time. I think her name's Nicole, maybe, who's like not listening to anybody else. Just kind of wants to do her own thing. She just wants to have a good time and doesn't really care about anything. And so the responsible girl, whose name is Alexa, is like, no, we have to stick together. We have to like stay behind me because I know where I'm going because I've done this once before with some random boy.
I don't think she said she did it once. She said she's done it before. I have a feeling they've been down there a lot, if you know what I mean.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a sex reference. We don't know what's going on here. So basically, she is kind of dating the Mia's dad's assistant. And so he has brought her down there to see this cave a couple times. I guess that's his move. Hey, let me show you this cool archaeological dig.
Seemed to work.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, clever. I mean, if you have access to a really cool archaeological dig, and that's what you think teenage girls are into, I mean, if you're a teenager, that's cool, I guess. So, anyway, so they go into this lake, and then they go dive through, and it's like a really narrow passageway. Like everything's super narrow everywhere you go, which is weird. Because I'll explain that later why it's weird. Yeah. So there's all these like super narrow passages everywhere. They got to like crawl through, and then they finally get into this like room, and it's like really dark in this room because of course it's underwater. And then Alexa like flips the switch, and all these lights come on. They're like, "Oh, this is so beautiful and gorgeous." Because in my experience, teenage girls are really into ancient Aztec, I think, Mayan, ancient Mayan ruins. That's what they're into. That's, in my opinion, that's what I've noticed. But I don't know. It's kind of dumb. And so
they're kind of just like swimming around in this area, and then Nicole like wants to wander off because like the original plan was just we'll go to this one cave, we'll leave, we'll be fine, it'll be fun, we'll do this. And Nicole's like, no, I want to have more of a good time, so I'm gonna go over here because I thought I saw something move. Because when you're underground in a cave, following things that are moving, probably a good idea.
And so she like swims away, and then she sees this tetra. It's a blind tetra, the Mexican tetra. So that's because it's been in the cave so long, it has no eyes, and so she's like, oh, that's really cool. And then she's like, here, fishy, 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 because fish definitely speak English. That's how that works. And like she goes out to reach it, but then the fish roars at her for some reason, and then like it scares her, and like she like flops back and hits this giant pillar underground, and somehow it knocks the pillar over because that's how physics work.
In defiance of science.
Yeah. They're just like, I'm gonna knock over this giant pillar because that's how. And it breaks some other stuff, and then there's all this, of course, silt and soot or whatever they called it. It's all this sediment that's risen up, and they can't find each other, and they're all scared, and they don't know where each other is. And then all of a sudden, to the rescue comes Ben, maybe? Ben, is that his name? Ben. Yep. Okay, we're gonna go Ben. And like he finds her, he finds Mia. Is like, oh no, it's fine. What are you girls doing down here? This is so. What are you doing down here? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm with Alexa, Nicole, and Sasha. Or she said, no, she's with Alexa. And like Alexa shows up. She's like, oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. I wish we should go to the first cave. Then we knocked something over, and it was an accident. And then it's like, so I'm sure Nicole and Sasha are somewhere nearby too. And they're like, yeah, they're totally nearby. And then all of a sudden, giant shark attack! And it just eats Ben. And he's
that's
dead.
A good one too. Comes out of nowhere.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting it at all. Like I may have jumped a little bit, not gonna lie. And like Ben just gets eaten, and then like they're freaking out again because Ben got eaten. But only Alexa and Mia have seen the shark, so they're trying to find Sasha and Nicole to let them know there's a blind shark down here because this shark is stuck in the caves.
Because somehow this giant shark got through narrow passageways to get into this cave. Because that's how science works. Giant things go through immovable holes all the time. Apparently, it's like the strongest shark ever too. Like it's stronger than the mega shark from last month because it just breaks everything.
And so, like, they finally get all regrouped together, and they find each other, and they're like, there's a shark here. And Nicole's like, there's not a shark here. You're just kidding. Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, no, we got to get out of here. And so, like, they're trying to swim away through the narrow passageway again. And all of a sudden, like, Nicole's the last one in. And then she almost gets eaten by a shark, and she's like, oh, my God, it's a shark. I'm like, duh, we told you there was a shark. How do you not know there was a shark? We told you there was one. And then, but it, like, misses her. So she survives that encounter. But then it keeps ramming this giant rock thing, which then collapses the tunnel, and so now they have to find a different way out, but they have no idea where they're at because they've never been in these caves before. But luckily Ben had a guideline. Yay, saved. we're going to follow the guideline out. We're going to go really slow so the shark can't pick us up. Follow the guideline out. We'll be fine, right? No big deal. So they find the guideline, and they're going through these tunnels, and everything's fine. They find all these staircases.
And then now it's got like skulls, and it's got like the catacombs, and like they're freaking out because there's skulls everywhere. Because skeleton skulls are more scary than the shark that's currently there. So they're like freaking out again. And then all of a sudden they're like following the guideline, and it's all cool. And then they get to the end of the guideline. The guideline's been broken somehow. We have no idea how. It's just broken. Yeah. So now they're like, where do we go now? We don't know what to do.
And then they hear music, and they're like, well, that's got to be my dad. Because my dad loves the Carpenters. And that's the Carpenters. Because every shark movie should have the Carpenters in it, apparently. And so, yeah. So, like, they swim over to, like, follow this music, but they can't figure out how to get there. And then, of course, there's another very small, narrow passageway they got to swim through. So then they swim through this narrow passageway, and they find Carl. Well, kind of. They don't really find Carl. And so, like, Carl is there, and he's welding away, and then all of a sudden the music stops, and Carl's like, why'd you kill my music? I was jamming out. Because, you know, young people jam out to the Carpenters underwater while welding.
Well, he was listening to Roxette. And there.
Oh, sorry, Roxette first. Whatever it was. Not really music people listen to that are that age. And I was wrong. Shut up, Tony. Whatever.
I love the new sound.
And I do not like them at all. This is terrible. This Carpenter, so like then he like, goes around to find a speaker, and he finds the speaker's been mangled, and he's like, "What happened to my speaker?" Because it obviously isn't a shark. Because how would a shark get down this tiny little cave with all these narrow passageways? And so then the light's been knocked over, so they pick up the light, and all of a sudden there's a shark there. Oh my god, a shark! And so then the shark eats Carl, and Carl's dead, which is sad. And Mia's just kind of swimming around trying to figure out what's going on. And then Mia finds Carl's dead body, which is super sad. And then she's like freaking out. And then all of a sudden, to the rescue comes her dad. Like her dad shows up. And it's like, hey, what are you doing down here? Because like you shouldn't be down here. Because it's bad. But something happens before that.
Yeah, so the girls get all together first. And then they go and they get chased by the shark. And then they have to go like through this place that's peligro, which means danger in Spanish. And they get this place where there's like an air pocket first. And so there's an air pocket, so they don't have to use their air anymore, so they can conserve their tanks, which is a good idea because they're all getting low on tanks. Because they lost 60% of their oxygen in the first 10 minutes of this movie. Somehow lasted the rest of the hour and 20 minutes on 40% oxygen. That's a totally different thing. Again, science. We don't believe in it anymore, apparently.
So they like escape the shark to this place that's all dangerous, and they get stuck in this air pocket, and then she like hears the music again, and this is when she hears the Carpenters this time around. So like she knows it's probably her dad or something. And so like she swims and finds and goes through this little thing that's like really tight, and she's like, I'll go by myself so we don't all have to waste our oxygen, and I'll talk to you when I get to the other side, and it'll be fine. And so that's what she does. Maybe that's when she finds Carl. I don't really remember. This movie is so terrible, and there's so many big plot holes. It's just really hard. And so then she meets up with her dad at some point. The points are, the semantics aren't really important. So she meets up with her dad, and then they go back and get all the other girls, and they bring them out, and then they like swim to this other location that her dad knew about because it's the other entrance to the cave, and it's all good. And they're in this little lagoon, and they're all feeling good. And there's a rope, and they can get out. And it's like, all right, cool. We're finally at the point where we can get out. That's a very small passageway we just swam through. There's no way sharks can get through it. It's just not possible. We're safe. But guess what? They weren't. So first off, Alexa tries to go up this rope, and so she's got like in this little harness, then she's got like the jimmy this thing, and yada yada yada. Then all of a sudden the sharks show up, and so like Nicole freaks out again because Nicole can't keep her composure.
Fucking Nicole, man.
Dude, she's fucking terrible. Like she's the worst part of this movie. She has like no chill whatsoever. So like so then she tries to like climb up the rope freestyle. She's like, I'm gonna free climb this rope because the rope's definitely built to hold two people. Which, poor fact, by the way. That rope probably could have held both of them.
It wasn't the rope that was the problem. It was where it was hooked.
But her dad used that rope, and her dad probably weighed similar to what two of those girls combined weighed.
But also you had it going in two different directions with two different people on it, and one of them was thrashing.
It was getting jiggled way too much.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. The science doesn't really work out.
But again...
that sounds like outrageous things that I would say.
But again, good on her for the upper body strength to free climb.
Yeah.
because that was impressive.
She's like Superwoman, can just free climb a rope. Although she's been soaking wet with salt water all day, she somehow has the most amazing grip known to mankind and can climb up this rope. And then the rope starts slipping once, and then it comes flying down, and then it gets caught again. So like, oh, whew, good. Rope got caught again. We'll be fine. Plus, it wasn't anchored very well. Whoever anchored that rope was terrible. There were lots of giant trees all around. They could have tied that rope off too.
But they put it between two little rocks like you're supposed to.
No. So whoever taught those people how to rope climb should be fired, because that's not how you rope climb. There's a giant tree there. You tie around the giant tree. You make the knot. Use carabiner. It's fine. Nothing happens. It doesn't break off. You're safe. See? Movie could have been over. But no. Got to be dumb about it. And so.
And then like the one girl, like she gets to the very top, and then the rope breaks again, or like doesn't break, but comes loose again. And so she like grabs a hold of it, and she's like fine, and she's gonna climb out, and it's gonna be all safe. This is Nicole, by the way, the one we all hate because she's terrible. And this is Sylvester Stallone's daughter, which explains so much. And then like the rope slit, the rocks like breaks off, and she falls down, and she gets eaten by a shark. Good riddance. We didn't want her anyways. She was terrible.
And so they find this like emergency beacon, and then they kind of figured out this emergency beacon scares the sharks for some reason, because sharks have ears or something. I don't know. They might. I don't really think they have really sensitive hearing, but they did develop when their senses were raised, like the tetrafish, I guess. So I guess it's possible. The science still doesn't make sense. So anyways, they have this beacon, and it's flashing red, and it's making this noise, and they're like, oh yeah, we're safe. They don't like this beacon. And then all of a sudden, Dad gets eaten. Because why not? The guy can save them. So she loses her dad. She loses her friend, who was annoying, that no one liked anyway, so that's cool. But she loses her dad. But yet the air tanks never explode, which was something we talked about. And so there could have been lots of air tanks. And Dad's air tank probably had more air in it, too. He probably wasn't down there as much, so they probably should have grabbed his air tank. But, they weren't thinking right.
And so then they're all, like, freaking out. And they're like, we gotta find a different way out of here. Like, there's gotta be a way to go back to the ocean. Like, that just has to be the way to do. So, like, they're swimming, and just keep swimming. And then, well, Dad had told them about this, like, current thing that may happen. And so they were like, oh, there's a current, so they're gonna have to deal with that. And then, like, they're swimming towards, and they're like, oh, they get to the current. But, like, the current sweeps away Sasha, and like she gets swept away in the current, and then like all of a sudden Mia's like, oh no, I've lost my dad and my new stepsister.
Who I didn't like anyways, really, because she's been mean to me for my whole life, but then became best friends somehow. That's how that worked. And within the hour and a half or whatever of this movie is, they became best friends. So she's like super sad, and then Alexa's like, no, we should just crawl on the wall and we'll be fine. We'll just get out of here. And like, okay, cool. So they crawl along the wall and they get over there, and like Alexa gets in there, and then all of a sudden the shark's in the hole somehow. These holes are like barely big enough for a small teenage girl to get through, but yet a giant great white shark can fit through them.
So then like the shark grabs a hold of her tank, so she like lets go of her tank, and the shark takes off with her tank, but it doesn't explode again. So many problems here. And then she decides to try to just free swim it out.
And then she drowns, and it was kind of a horrifying scene.
Yeah, it was not fun to watch.
Slow motion. Like there's so much slow motion in this movie. There's so much fake terror and emotion. Too, like it was so cheesy. Like they were trying. Like, there's a certain scene where they're like floating around, like the red light from the blinker is like blinking, and I see a shark and blinking, and I see the shark and blinking, and I see the shark, and my subwoofer is going crazy. It's like boom, 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 like the Telltale Heart or some shit, which is like beeping underneath, and it's just ridiculous. And then like, so of course Mia's freaking out again because her friend just died, and then she gets swept up by the current, and then at the bottom of the curtain is surprise, Sasha's still alive.
So they're like, okay, well, we're going to get out of here, because we know there's a way to get out of here, but we don't know how to get out of here. And then, like, they're just kind of moving around, their oxygen's getting really super low, and all of a sudden they see this pathway, and they're like, well, it's even more narrow than all the other pathways we've been in, but we can probably fit through it with these giant tanks on our back. And so they're, like, swimming through, and they keep getting kind of stuck, and there's another shark somewhere, I think. Maybe not a shark here, who knows? It's just dumb. There's so many dumb things here. And so they're swimming out, and then, like, their tanks get stuck, and they're, like, stuck, and their oxygen's, like, running down low, and it's, like, a countdown, like, 0.2, 0.1, and then, like, like a fucking beeping machine from the hospital that they're gonna die, and they all take a big deep breath, and then they have to like try to get out of their tanks, and then Mia gets like Alexa gets free, or Sasha gets free and gets out into the ocean, and then all of a sudden Mia's stuck because she can't get out of her rig, and then she like gets up next to the rock and somehow finds air in the rock, like she like creates her own air bubble somehow and survives.
I'm not really sure how that worked. I don't dive enough. I'll have to ask a diving buddy to confirm how that works, but it doesn't seem like it would work that way. Again, science. So they get off the ocean and they're safe, right? It's great. The ocean, they know how to get there, and they're like, but then how are we going to get out of here? Because, like, there's this giant rock wall. What are we going to do? How are we going to get out of here? But then guess what? Guess what shows up? That glass boat trip they were supposed to be on.
The glass boat shows up. You know the one where it's supposed to look at great white sharks? Yeah, you can see where this is going. Yeah, So they start swimming towards the boat. Like, this boat's gonna save us. Help, 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 save us. And the deckhand, for some reason, doesn't see them flailing around the water because he's got headphones in, and that makes you blind as well. And like, as they're swimming, they're like, what is all this red stuff? Did somebody get cut? Nope. Jump in the waters. Because we just throw chum out in the middle of the water without looking to see what's out there first, because you never know.
And so all of a sudden we got more great white sharks. But these aren't blind. These great white sharks have eyes because they've not been stuck in a cave their whole life. Which, who knows how long they've been down there and how they survived. Because there was no food source down there in the cave either. We saw like a total of 3 fish the entire time. So, another bullshit point.
And so like they're swimming, like freaking out, and then all of a sudden like the sharks start circling around, and like then you see they get like cuts to the glass boat where you see all the kids, and like the one bitch girl, Catherine, I think's her name, is all like, oh, move out of my way so I can see more of these sharks, blah blah blah. And then like they're swimming, and then like Mia and Sasha are swimming towards the boat, and then like they get taken under somehow, and all of a sudden they're like up against the ship, and then like bang on the ship, and then like everybody sees them, and like, oh fuck, there's people in the water, we better go save them.
But not with life preservers and ropes, because we don't have those on this boat apparently. We need them to swim over to us through 5 great white sharks, mind you, to climb up a ladder.
And so Mia gets up the ladder and is safe. And is like, all right, this movie's come to an end. They're safe. Nope. Just as Sasha goes to climb up the ladder, guess what? Grabbed by a shark. And so Mia's like, what should I do now? I'm going to grab a flare gun. A fucking flare gun. And I'm going to shoot this shark with a flare to save my stepsister.
Because that's what people do.
Yeah, she jumps back in the fucking water.
Dives into the water to save her new best friend, her stepsister, Sasha.
Probably because she's afraid that Sasha's mom wouldn't accept her if she came back without Sasha. And so, like, she shoots this flare gun, and of course it's super slow motion again. And if you look at the angle of the projector of the shot, it was totally going towards Sasha's face. It would have hit Sasha in the face. But somehow, it broadsides this great white shark, and it's like, oh, now we're safe, and so we're going to swim back to the ocean, or back to the boat. And then, of course, Sasha goes up first this time because she's injured, and can somehow still swim fine with a giant shark bite out of her. A little weird there. And so, like, Sasha gets up into the boat, and, like, then Mia tries to get in the boat, and guess what? Mia gets eaten by a shark. Well, almost. She gets grabbed by a shark. And then she's, like, fighting the shark, and she's, like, hitting it, and then she remembers she's got a shark tooth in her pocket. So she stabs the shark in the eye. I guess she had watched The Meg and saw Jason Statham grab a rod into the mega shark's eye and thought, this'll work.
Well, yeah, it's textbook shark defense.
Yeah, and so, like, then the shark lets her go, and so she swims, and then, like, she gets back to the boat, and then here comes another shark, but she just barely survives. And she gets on the boat, she's reunited with her sister, and they're hugging, although they both have these giant gaping wounds. And then Catherine comes over, and she's all like, oh, mad respect. She didn't say anything, but, like, that was kind of like the tone of it. Like, oh, there's so much respect here. And, like, Mike even said something like, oh, so are both the girls just going to eat at the end of the movie? Because that would make this movie so much better.
No, I said this. The perfect ending to this movie would be if both girls got eaten by sharks and the movie just ended right there, with everybody being traumatized by seeing them eaten by sharks.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's the scene where they're right by the boat and they both get yanked down. And
like, that would have been a perfect ending to the movie.
It would have been better.
It would have been great.
Or any of the 5 endings after that would have been great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the very end, where Mia gets taken, at the very, very, very end, that would have been great if that was the end of the movie. Where, like, the only sympathetic character just is done at the end.
She made it all the way to the finish line, and then, sorry.
She made it all the way to the finish line, went backwards 20 yards, and then tried to go to the finish line again and got ganked by a shark.
That would have been a perfect 2020 movie.
They could have bled out on the boat.
That's true. That's true.
Did they have a shark bite sewing kit on their boat? I mean, they didn't have life preservers, so why would they have first aid for sharks?
They showed the flare gun was in the first aid kit.
Yeah, but that was like some gauze patches. That girl had a
probably last long
wound.
enough to get them to an airlift or something.
Oh, neither of them should have survived any of the wounds from those sharks. They should have been crushed to death.
And these sharks were like super aggressive the entire movie until they're on the boat. And because sharks don't attack boats, we've seen movies that contrary to that.
I mean, it's always been my understanding. It's always been my understanding that sharks are more about opportunity. So if they have to work for it, they're not going to stick around for too long. They don't care about, they'll just go find food elsewhere unless they're super desperate. And that doesn't really.
Well, the blood sharks could have been super desperate because they could be trapped in this cave.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't know. I mean,
they've survived this long.
There are paths large enough for sharks to get through, but yet paths not big enough for teenage girls to get through.
Yeah. Okay. So the story of this sunken temple is that it was above ground, and rising sea levels have filled it with water. Right.
Because the polarized skips are male.
Because the
I think
Mayans
she said it was below ground to hide it from conquistadors.
Well, yeah, but like it was above sea level.
Yeah.
And rising sea levels have flooded it.
But that can't be true because global warming isn't real. Come on now.
Well, but the Mayans built it to protect their treasures from the conquistadors. So this is
and they're
1500s.
Dead.
But I didn't see any treasures down there.
I didn't either. But even if they're just protecting their dead,
it sounded more like it was for their dead.
But still, that's 500 years that this place has been maybe underwater for some of it. Because it's not like the sea just one day was like, hey, I'm going to raise 50 feet.
Yeah.
You don't know what the sea thinks.
That's true. But okay, so has that given sharks that have been trapped in this cave time to breed enough to have enough generations to evolve into blind cave sharks?
Yeah, and also,
no.
If there was no food down there, how did they survive?
Okay, so we saw 2 other fish the entire time, and we know there are at least 2 giant fucking sharks in there. There is not enough biomass in that cave to support those sharks.
And how did they get in there in the first place?
Yeah, like if they came in from the sea and got trapped, or the great-great-great-great-great-grandmother or whatever, but there had to at least 2 get in there of the opposite sex. And yeah, it's a real
holes big enough to get into it for sharks to fit through. Because every entrance that we saw,
sharks are like cats.
Was too. I don't think they are.
I don't think so.
Sharks are not liquid. Cats are liquid. Sharks are not liquid. And so, yeah, it's the whole movie is just ridiculous. There's so many holes.
Yeah, there's no science in this movie that holds up.
It's what makes it. I mean, and the way they shot the scenes were so dumb. Like we even made a comment while watching it. We were like, "Was this supposed to be in 3D?" Because it looked like they were trying to make it in 3D.
It did look like they were. I don't know if this came to like real 3D theaters or what, but yeah,
it definitely looks like it was
shot for 3D.
Yeah, it may just be that it was shot that way, and then they ran out of budget to upconvert it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the budget on this one was.
Probably not super high.
Not too much. I mean, they only had to have a couple of underwater sets, and that's about it. Other than
it wouldn't surprise me if this was one of those movies like you know how Kevin Smith likes to tell the story of how Yoga Hosers got made, and it's because his daughter is friends with Johnny Depp's daughter, and he said, "Oh, put the two girls in the movie." It almost feels like Jamie Foxx's daughter and Sylvester Stallone's daughter were friends and said, "Hey, we want to be in movies," and they said, "Okay, be in this movie."
Yeah, so the budget for this movie was $12 million.
Oh, it was $12 million? Okay.
Yeah, and it grossed $22 million in the US.
It was profitable.
And 46 worldwide.
I mean, when you make a movie for only $12 million, you're gonna do okay as a general rule.
Yeah.
If you get it into international waters, you'll probably do okay.
I mean, it is pretty much, with the exception of a couple people, a cast of unknowns. Corinne Fox, who plays Sasha's Jamie Foxx's daughter. This is her first movie. And Sistine Stallone, her first movie. We've got a Power Ranger in this, Ben.
Which Sistine Stallone plays the worst character in this entire movie. Like, Catherine's bad, but we don't see her enough for it to really
Nicole is just dumb, mean bad.
She's just annoying. I mean, John Corbett, he's kind of known.
John Corbett's pretty popular.
Nia Long's pretty well known.
But Corbett was probably in for a day rate. Because he didn't really have a whole lot of screen time.
That's true, because he probably put in 1 day out of the pool and 1 day in the pool. And that was it.
So, I mean, it just, I don't know. And then the guy, Carl, his last name is Rambo. It's actually Rambo, R-H-A-M-B-O, but it just looks funny as Rambo, because that's Sylvester Stallone.
Okay, well, that dude's in the movie for literally 30 seconds, though.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, there's not a whole lot of people in this movie. Like, I mean...
That does keep the budget down.
I'm sure they probably shot the outside stuff in Mexico, and then the rest of it's all in a pool on a stage.
Oh, you think it's in a pool, not out in the wild?
It's probably in a pool, just for safety reasons, if nothing else.
No real sharks.
I can't imagine
sharks.
I can't imagine any insurance company wanting to insure a movie with a whole underwater set like that, because just the amount of damage you would do to any existing ruins.
Yeah, and, you keep it dark, and you can make a 6 or 7 foot deep pool look 50 feet deep.
Yeah, I mean, the descent was all in a back lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
Probably the most money they spent on a scene was when they flew the drone up over them to show them walking for 5 minutes.
It's probably true.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Although
I think they were just trying to make that scene long enough to fit with the song playing.
And the CGI sharks actually weren't bad. I actually didn't mind them.
No, they were
bad.
great.
I mean, they were.
You don't see them too much, actually.
Exactly.
And when you do, they're really badly lit, and that's perfect for CGI.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, that could have been done by the team from The Flash on a weekend, you know?
Yeah. Well, this movie is a sequel to the original 47 Meters Down, starring Mandy Moore.
Which I enjoyed.
Okay, so I didn't care for it much, especially the lame twist at the end. I wasn't a super fan of it. But that movie took itself a lot more serious than this one. And I thought this movie is probably a spec script or something that they just slapped the title on, because it has nothing in common with the first movie outside of the sharks.
That seems pretty likely.
No cast or anything. Well, I looked it up, and the director co-wrote it. And he directed both movies. So I don't know.
It's one of those like Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, 48 Hours of Cocaine.
Maybe, or the other co-writer, may have had this idea and been working on it, and they were just like, hey, if you give me a writing credit, I'll make your movie.
Well, because the original one made a crap ton of money that nobody expected, didn't it?
So the original movie was supposed to be straight to DVD, and it was actually in stores for like a few days before a studio bought it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember all of this.
Yeah, and it made bank.
I was surprised. Like it was a surprise.
Yeah, it was a huge hit.
And it probably was one of those where it made so much money, the studio came back and said, "Okay, what else you got?"
Oh, I'm sure. And so I'm wondering if maybe this is part of a new shark-themed anthology of movies.
I mean,
no, I hope not.
Who knows?
Please. That ends with them all coming together like the Avengers.
Oh my god!
And they go to war against the sharks.
And it turns out the lead of the sharks is the cursed shark from Jaws: The Revenge.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That'd be
my god! Shitty shark movies unite! Oh my god! Can you imagine the Voltron of shitty shark movies?
The first one was quite a bit lower, but it didn't really make that much more. I mean, 20 million more, not like a ton more than this.
Yeah, but
one.
The first movie was shot for like 2 million or something.
5.3.
Like, oh, really 5? Okay, but still,
yeah.
I mean, it was never meant to be a big theatrical release,
and probably 2 million of that went to Mandy Moore. So
yeah,
you'd be surprised, I think.
Matthew Modine's in that, right? He probably got a chunk of that too.
Yeah, I don't know. All these people that I don't know. You guys know too many actors.
Okay, well, let's see here. Sophie Melissa, who plays Mia, was in the movies Mama and The Book Thief, both critically acclaimed movies.
I keep hearing about Mama. It's in my Hulu queue. I will watch it eventually, but the whole thing's supposed to be an allegory for, the Bible and creation story. And I don't know if I'm up for, it was Christopher Nolan, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm up for that, but
it's just,
I keep hearing people being divided on it. And I don't know if I will watch it. It's one of those, it's in my queue. I will eventually watch it, but just out of pure curiosity, but I don't know. Anyway, not important.
I mean, I think Nia Long's probably the biggest name in this particular one.
She is, and she's in the movie for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, because she's from Black
She's just
Spot.
in a ton of stuff, yeah.
She's in NCIS Los Angeles for a little while. She's in Empire. She's in Dear White People. I mean, she's in a lot of stuff. I mean, she's back in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, she's been around for a long time, so...
Yeah, we've got Corinne Fox as Sasha and Sistine Stallone as Nicole, both their debuts. Brienne Chu, she's a Disney Channel actor.
Yeah.
Was in a bunch of Disney Channel series. And as a side note, her sister is in a bunch of Nickelodeon series. So, competitive child actors.
The Olsen twins.
Ben is the Gold Ranger in Power Rangers Dino Charge.
Oh my goodness.
Which my son is currently obsessed with. So I did know him. Yeah. Breck
Are you going to let your son watch this?
This? Yeah, he can watch it all he wants.
Your son that is afraid of everything?
I will allow him. Yeah, he's afraid of like having the lights out in a room 2 rooms away. And I would definitely let him watch this. I think he would make it 4 seconds into the credits before he stopped watching, and that's fine with me.
And then started looking for more race cars, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
He does love race cars.
Yep. Actually, probably the biggest actor in this, Nia Long. But John Corbett, he's pretty popular, pretty well known.
Yeah.
From Northern Exposure and Sex and the City, and
I didn't really know who he was.
Bunch of newer stuff I really don't know, but yeah. And the director of this is Johan Roberts, whose 2 major credits so far are 47 Meters Down and The Strangers, Pray at Night, which the studio had so much faith in, they put it up against Black Panther.
Yeah,
that sounds like that movie was released to die.
I was shocked to find out it got a theatrical release. I'd never heard of it, but I'm not big into the Strangers universe.
Yeah, they were very good movies.
All right.
I'm
Notes
not
wise,
sure I've seen them.
Oh, the first note I have is that Sasha is shitty because she is. Her stepsister gets chucked into a pool, and she's just kind of a real bitch about it.
She's not my
It's her
sister.
fault. Yeah, but then as soon as they're done walking and they have to jump into the cenote, she's all of a sudden holding hands with her and talking her into jumping with her.
Yep.
And they're best of friends.
Yep.
Which is crazy, but whatever. I don't understand high school girls.
Well, there is that.
I don't either.
I just don't understand
let's see
girls.
here.
So
we got wild organ music in the underwater temple pre-shark, which is 100% more organ music than I expected in a shark movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of organ music. I was kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, it starts out like
it wasn't ominous organ music like you would expect.
No, it's just like straight, like cathedral-y,
like 2 steps
organ
off
music when
Carmina
they're in the
Burana,
temple.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it turns John Carpenter-y, Stranger Things-y. It was definitely atmospheric, but strange.
Well, the flashing red light thing reminded me a lot of like what different horror movies do, where they kind of the light flashes, and then you see the horror, then the light flashes, and you see the horror.
Yeah, I had a weird Suspiria thing, but
yeah, this movie tried really hard to be a horror.
That's what I was
movie,
thinking too. It was very Argento.
It was never very horror-y, though. I mean, I wasn't ever like in suspense. I mean, it was just like you just knew another shark attack was coming. Like they made it so obvious. The only shark attack that was cool was the first one.
Also, well, okay,
they did a really good job with the first shark attack. I was like,
yeah, because it really comes. I mean, it is the most surprising shark attack in a shark movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he just died. That's
there's
cool.
No forewarning, no nothing.
No, I mean,
and you don't even see the shark coming head on or diving out of anywhere.
No.
It's just suddenly just there.
Yeah, so like that was the only part of the movie that I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I mean, that was
it's a great jump scare.
Then they just went away from that, like completely away from that. They went to this like predictive horror shit, and I was just like you had such a great like niche you could have done with this whole thing, where like shark attacks and just you had no idea they were coming, and had they done that the entire movie, this movie would have been 100 times more enjoyable.
Well, I saw somebody on Letterboxd, they described this as a shark slasher movie, and that makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
Like it comes out of nowhere. It's like it's stalking them, and the people who are dealing with the shark are just dumb as hell about it.
overly aggressive for no reason. Yeah, it's just not believable as a slasher movie. I mean, that's what's the problem I had with it. Is that, I mean, it was too set up after that. Like,
yeah. And you were talking about the signal thing.
Yeah,
the flashing red light. There were music cues in this that came from that. Like it had its specific signal and the music would go along with it. And also a lot of time. Now I thought originally before watching this with you guys that these sharks were somehow echolocating, because it looked like every time they opened their mouth, there's some weird like techno distortion. I don't know, sound that comes out. But once you guys said you thought maybe it was part of the music, it went with the music, but also whenever you saw the shark's mouth open.
No, yeah, after you said it, I realized you were right. But
well, I don't know. I don't know if that's meant to be part of the backstory of these sharks, but seriously, sharks don't have any air in them, so whatever.
But I mean, sharks roar.
Yeah, we've learned that
only in shark movies.
The thing is, sharks. Like I explained last time, the sharks have this built-in organ or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they've got their lateral line system.
They can sense movement and whatever else, so they wouldn't.
They sense electrical fields.
they wouldn't necessarily need their eyes. So like
that's
they
right. Well, how would they eat in the deep ocean if they had to rely on their sight?
Yeah.
Now, I did read today that great whites rely on their sight more than most sharks because they like to attack stuff above them and rush up from the bottom.
Yeah, because they eat seals. That's what they eat a lot.
Yeah. But these sharks in the cave, again, there's no biomass in this cave. It's the same reason the Loch Ness Monster can't possibly exist. There's nothing to support that size of a creature in there. Like, if they're going to evolve into blind sharks, they would also evolve into very small and slow sharks.
Whoa.
There is no Loch Ness Monster. I'm sorry.
Is that I have someone knocked on my door, I open the door, and there's a Girl Scout trying to sell me.
You didn't give him any money, did you?
I did. I gave him $3.50.
God damn it, Josh. I told you, don't give that Loch Ness Monster any money.
And all of a sudden, yeah.
Now the Loch Ness Monster is just going to bother you all the time.
I don't mind. Nesty's pretty nice.
That's all right.
We hang out.
But yeah, like there's no reason these sharks should exist at all.
No. There's just no way for them to be alive. I mean, they don't have some like stupid, maybe they have a voodoo curse on them.
These are like full-size giant great whites. They are enormous.
Hold up. So, I know I kind of just made a joke about a voodoo curse, but maybe
oh no,
they were Mayan cursed sharks that were put there to protect the dead from intruders.
Maybe. I have a theory about this movie too, but we'll get to it in a bit.
Well, except that also it wouldn't have been underwater at the time.
That's true. Like, again, there's been maximum 600 years this place could have been underwater, and it evidently, I mean, I doubt it went underwater all at once. It would have slowly risen. But yeah. Like,
maybe the sharks were waiting. Maybe they were like in a stasis. Maybe they were in tanks. You don't know.
Okay, so this is an archaeological dig.
Uh-huh.
They have been working on it for quite some time.
Yes.
How have they never noticed these huge fucking sharks swimming around them?
It sounded like they were kind of lampshading that a little bit at the very beginning when he said, we found this shark's tooth after we found this new area.
Okay, but still.
So it sounds like uncovering the new area maybe opened up wherever it was these sharks were.
Well, they know that it leads to the sea, so wouldn't you at least be cautious
You're not wrong.
about that kind of thing?
But if they had been cautious about that kind of thing, then the movie would be over.
I know. There's lots of reasons this movie would have been over right away. Like if they had listened to their parents or not stolen scuba gear or any of that stuff. But the other thing is the weird physics of this movie, where a girl backing up into a column can move this column that weighs like 2 or 3 tons.
I mean,
like 3 or 4 feet, knock it down.
And underwater at that, where she has nothing to push against.
Yeah, like there's no whatever. They do that. Then the shark tries to get them in the tunnel and sends cracks through the rocks that get at least like 20 or 30 feet.
That's totally how that works.
Like it's the strongest shark in the world, strongest creature that ever lived.
It is Mayan cursed, so.
And this movie also suffers from the same thing we've seen in every other shark movie, where someone very close to them has just been killed in a horrible manner right in front of their face. Yet there's a lot of like high-fiving and a lot of other happiness stuff.
I mean, to be fair, that's the initial rush of holy shit, we didn't die.
Yeah, there's holy shit, we didn't die, but also my dad and my boyfriend are dead.
You're right. I'm just saying that I can totally see where that reaction would come from, because first you go, holy shit, I didn't die. Then later you go, holy shit, other people died.
Yeah, there's that. And then
you got to let that initial shock run out.
I beg to differ. I don't think it would happen that way, but whatever. They see the skulls of the ancient dead Mayans that are at least 500 or 600 years old. And one of them is freaking the fuck out about that when her boyfriend just got dusted directly in front of her face.
Yeah, there is that.
No, that wasn't her boyfriend. It was Alexa's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Yeah. Like, he's been killed by a giant shark.
Directly in front of her,
and she just doesn't...
Yeah, I talked about that in my recap.
She just doesn't care. Nice jump scares, yeah. Oh, the shark can destroy the tunnel, but this little tiny gate that's on the tunnel with the air pocket.
Correct.
Apparently, he can't even bend it.
Yep. Because there's
like a wire gate. It's not. There's nothing to it. It's not even rebar.
because it says peligro, which apparently means
Isn't that
danger
caution?
shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably danger. Don't breathe the fucking air in this air pocket. Which leads me to my theory about this movie.
Or maybe that was where the sharks were trapped.
Well, I'm thinking this little tiny tunnel where they are with the air pocket. They complain about the air tasting funny or smelling funny or whatever. I think that it wasn't air. I think it's some kind of gas, and they all died right there, and the rest is just a hallucination.
How do you hallucinate when you're dead?
It's
it's as the neurons are shutting off and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't play.
And then we get to the awesome Roxette music. She's got the look.
Yeah.
That apparently is hit with all the hip young African American underwater welding archaeologists. And we get some Carpenter's music, and then we get the Ben Gardner moment. I mean, that is right out of Jaws when they run into what was his name? Carl? Yeah, like it like even the face looked the same. The big bugged out eyes and everything.
Oh yeah. No, it was bad.
It was the Ben Gardner moment. Another reference to another great movie. Corbett got Sam Jacksoned.
Yeah.
Like he's giving the big motivational speech. We're going to watch each other's backs and we're going to get through this and we're all going to be alive. And then we're out of nowhere. He gets sharked. It's terrific.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was an homage to Deep Blue Sea. Yeah. Oh, we have 2 sets of mean girls in this movie. Only the bad mean girls get no comeuppance whatsoever.
Yep.
Nope. Well, she does get mad respect in the end, so we don't know what could have happened.
So is she going to be a mean girl
there
with
was
them
no
now?
Regina George hitting by a bus scene for the Mean Girls. I don't know. There should have been.
I think basically, I think basically they exist there to show deference to Mia and how she has changed by the end of the movie, and that she will no longer be a person to be fucked with.
That may be true, but also I doubt she's going to stay in Mexico with them.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably going to go see a doctor in some therapy for the next 10 years. But
10?
Well, the other thing is that the dad was down there for archaeological digs, so now that he's dead, I'm assuming the stepmom will take both kids out? Because her mom's dead. Because Mia's mom's dead. So now Nia Long's character is responsible for
Mia. She's going to be a single mom to 2 teenage girls who hate and love each other.
Yeah.
But that's the case with all teenage girls, I'm led to believe.
Yeah, we don't really know what she does. Like, does Nia Long have a job?
Well, she's going to have to get one. That's for
pretty
damn
well
sure.
off. I mean,
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
But also it was Mexico.
So maybe she was...
no, it wasn't. It was actually Mexico, right?
Was it? I'm not sure they ever actually told us.
There was one scene, yeah. They did one runner that said where it actually was. But things do, as a general rule, seem to cost less down there. So,
I don't know. I just because I don't really know that archaeologists really make a lot of money.
It would depend on what.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. I do know that underwater welders make a pant load of money.
Yeah, but he was working for an archaeologist.
But you can't get any insurance at all. I had a friend that worked on the Hunley when it was being excavated. Yeah,
worked on the what?
And the Hunley, the submarine.
Yeah,
in the Civil War, and he only did it until he got married, and then
it's supposedly a super dangerous job.
Yeah, it's totally dangerous. Like your odds of surviving in that job more than 5 years are like less than 50%.
Well, you're using fire that can light underwater.
Well, there's that, and then there's just the extended periods of time you're
we all
underwater.
Talk about how at one point the shark charges one of the girls. She's got the torch in her hand, and she doesn't use it to kill the shark.
I know. She kind of tries to put it toward him and just sort of scares it to the side.
Yeah. And also they were like banging around for a little bit, which caused the shark.
I was going to say, in that area where Carl was welding, there were like racks with like chains and hooks and all kinds of shit that I thought was going to come into play. Like I thought they were going to hook a shark like in bait and tie it to something, whatever. No. And then they just never go back to that.
Yeah, because like 2 of them could have swam and like
to beat on things.
Yeah, but how fast the shark turned when there was clearly something in front of it to chase something that it doesn't know about, also pretty amazing.
Yeah. Like, there are a lot of tactical errors in this movie, like all huddling together in one group in the middle of this open cenote when they're trying to escape.
That's a bad idea.
Just not a lot of logic, terrible science, but this movie was really fun to watch. I enjoyed it a lot.
I really did too.
I didn't. I really
I'm
didn't.
shocked.
It was just dumb to me. Like there was no real. It wasn't even fun. Like because there wasn't a real plot holes.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. It's just the whole
Not
thing was just
every
ridiculous.
movie
Like,
has to be a Pulitzer Prize winning thing.
I don't need to be a Pulitzer Prize thing. I loved Mazes and Monsters.
You hated Mazes and Monsters until.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. There's a difference.
I'm pretty sure you said hate this movie.
Wait. Here's where we get to have some fun with the fact of how we do this now. Hey Tony, we're gonna take a few seconds in this spot, put in where Josh said what he thought of the other movie, and go.
Stop it.
This movie,
Hey, you love Tom Hanks.
I get
Tom Hanks.
I really had the thing about this movie is that it started like really positively. Like I was like, okay, this is a little cheesy. It's 80s, but this could like really go somewhere. Like this could have a pretty good plot line. Like the first probably 30 or 40 minutes of this movie, I was really into it. I was like, cool, they're playing this game called Mazes and Monsters, which is very reminiscent of D&D. I love D&D. This is kind of cool.
Well,
and then like it just like went off the rails. Like it just like it. I don't know who wrote this and who thought that that's the direction they should go, but they ruined this movie.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There it was. Oh man, crazy, huh?
You don't know.
Wow.
I love this.
Oh, we'll know when this comes out. It'll be in there.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I do have a game this week.
Wow.
That's really, really complicated, overly long, like
No.
usual.
Like the movie.
Well, I can't do higher or lower because Tony with the soundboard. I don't know if you noticed earlier, Josh. He dropped in that's not Snowflake.
Yeah, I talked over
earlier
it.
on.
It's not Snowflake. It's not Snowflake.
I didn't notice that earlier.
I accidentally talked over it. I'm
man.
sorry.
It's all right. We heard it now. We get it. All right. Well, the name of this game is Who Shark Ed.
That's
That's right. It came to me in a dream again. And they always are the best jokes when I dream them up. Anyhow, I'm going to name off some well-known stars, some more well-known than others.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a couple of tequilas in. And you get 1 point if this star has been in a shark movie, a genre shark movie, and a bonus point if you can name the movie. Or if the person has not been in a shark movie, you can get 2 points for naming the aquatic creature titled movie that the actor has been in.
I'm gonna fucking suck at this game.
And you can pass if you want to. I'll start with you, Josh. I'll start with you. Let's see here. I gotta find a notepad or something. This is way too complicated. Anyhow,
Only you had a laptop in front of you that had sticky notes on it.
Hey, if you don't think the other person knows it, you can.
But Mike knows all
pass.
movies. This is not fair.
Not true.
Well, Josh, I'm going to let you go first because this one's fairly easy. The actor is Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, he was in a shark movie.
Okay, and
It
what
was
was the
called
title
Deep
of
Blue
it?
Sea. Have you seen my movies? Deep Blue Sea? The sharks, they hate me.
All right, Josh has 2 points.
Woohoo!
All right, and this one's pretty tough. Jeff Daniels.
Is this
to Mike?
No, to me.
Yep.
Let's see. I feel like he has been. I'm going to say yes, he has, but I cannot think of what it was.
Oh, the answer is no.
Yeah.
He is not, but I do know what aquatic movie he's been in.
Okay, go ahead and name it.
The Squid and the Whale.
The Squid and the Whale is correct.
Oh,
man.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with the ocean or anything.
No, it's not an
Just a
aquatic
high
movie. That just
drama
is a
family
name.
movie.
That's dirty. All right.
That's okay. Since Josh got it right, we're back to Mike. LL Cool J.
Oh, yes, he was in a shark movie. Again, I do not remember which one. Although I want to say it was Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. That's right.
Okay, I was questioning.
All right, back to Josh.
So I got my 2 points for that, right?
You did. Josh, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. He was in a shark movie. It was Jaws: The Revenge.
That's right.
Also known as Jaws 4. Also known as Jaws and the Voodoo Curse.
Oh, it would have been so great as the Voodoo Curse movie.
Oh, man.
I'm so disappointed that it never got shot. Okay, back to Mike. Elizabeth Shue.
I honestly can't think of one. I'm gonna say she wasn't, but I couldn't tell you what she was in.
Okay, you get 1 point for knowing that she wasn't. Josh, can you name the movie that's aquatically creature named she was in?
I don't know on this one.
Okay.
I don't know.
The answer is Piranha 3D.
Oh,
yeah.
She's the lead in Piranha 3D.
That movie.
I forgot about that one. Did I get points for knowing the Jeff Daniels one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, to you, Josh. Yeah, because you didn't know that one, and that was Mike's question. Dennis Quaid.
I feel like Dennis Quaid was in a shark movie, and I feel like it was Jaws.
Which Jaws?
Oh, really? I had to know which Jaws he was in?
Yep.
Jaws 2?
Is that your final answer?
I honestly don't know which one he was in. Which one was Dennis Quaid?
I mean, it could have been Jaws 2.
No, that was Jaws 3D. That's
Jaws 3D. You didn't just look that up on IMDb, did you?
I did not. I actually
Okay.
did remember you guys talked about it the other day with Jaws 3D.
Dennis Quaid is in Jaws 3D. All right, back to you, Mike.
Okay.
Thomas Jane, The Punisher.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes and Deep Blue Sea again.
Damn it!
You would be correct.
I giggled and gave it away.
No, I haven't. Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't actually seen Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, what? Wow. You are really outdoing yourself here. That's amazing.
But that is...
There were a lot of actors in it.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Also, you're in a real disadvantage since I think 3 of these have been Deep Blue Sea so far.
Kind of, and I'm noticing a pattern, and that's actually why, because that fits the pattern. But anyway.
There you go. Okay. Back to Josh. Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he was in a shark movie.
He was not in a shark movie. That's correct for a point.
And I know that he was in an aquatic themed movie, and I am trying to think of what it was called. And I, for the life of me, what's it called? I know he's been in one.
Remember, you get 2 extra points if you know the non-aquatic.
The aquatic movie which he was in.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember this one? I know this one too. I know the movie, and I can't think what it's called.
Mike, you wanna give it a try?
I'm going to say that the aquatic named movie
points?
that he was in is Swordfish.
Oh my gosh, that is correct.
Oh, I was going to go Flushed Away.
And we're back to Mike, and we're going with John Travolta.
Oh.
Hugh Jackman was in Swordfish. Jesus Christ, I forgot about that.
Travolta.
So dumb.
I may have to look this one up.
I don't know. I'm going to say not in a shark movie, but I couldn't tell you what aquatic named movie he's got. He's got too many credits. I can't think of one.
He does have a lot of credits.
Unless Grease is the name of an aquatic themed something.
Nope.
Okay, this is what I thought it was.
Yeah, he's in Swordfish also.
That's right, Josh.
Oh.
Josh gets 2 points.
I forgot he was in Swordfish.
Yeah. Yep. What did you say Swordfish? I remembered everything that was in that one.
Josh is going to win this one, but we're going to take it to the last on the list here. An actor you may not be familiar with, but you've seen him in movies, Michael Rappaport.
Michael?
Good comedian and actor, yeah.
Rappaport?
Mostly he's known these days for, I don't know, betting on sports and yelling about it on TV.
He had a really great movie where he was a superhero. It was funny.
I'm going to go with yes, and just because of the theme that we've been going with, Deep Blue Sea.
You would be correct.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
I had forgotten that Deep Blue Sea was so loaded with actors.
I had to look him up to see who he was to remember his face, and once I saw his face, I knew who he was.
Yeah,
I will.
He's one of those guys,
I looked him up to see who his face
tons
was.
of stuff.
I didn't know his name, but I knew once I saw his face, I knew who he was. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. He's in a lot of stuff that I really like. So,
yes,
yeah, he plays the dad in Atypical, and
he's been in like several Spike Lee movies, and
yeah,
like I said, he was in one. Yeah. He was in one a while ago where he played a superhero, like a real bargain basement superhero, and I really enjoyed that movie, but I can't think of what it was called off the top of my head.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. But
it was like he took a drug and it gave him a superpower or something.
Yeah.
I remember I really liked it, but I can't think of what it was called.
Well, Josh wins again. That it doesn't happen very often, but it's happened like 3 out of the last 4 times or something. It's pretty crazy.
Well, you keep hitting me in blind spots.
Yeah, I hadn't figured you hadn't seen Deep Blue Sea, but that's okay. You should watch it. It is fairly entertaining.
Deep Blue Sea. That is
I
kind
was busy going between stuff like Seven Samurai and 12 Angry Men and Dead Alive and
yeah.
Or
yeah.
Brain
well,
Dead.
Deep Blue Sea is a fun popcorn watch, just like this movie was.
Deep Blue Sea is not terrible. I would have much rather watched that.
I have no problem with the idea of watching it. I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of this about me, but I have a couple of movies. Yeah,
a couple.
And I'm slowly, I have watched almost all of the ones that I have, but I still have a few movies that I haven't had a chance to actually physically watch. I mean, currently, just this week, I got the Swamp Thing TV show, the new one, because it was on sale on Amazon for like $13.
Oh yeah, thanks for pointing out that Kino Lorber sale. By the way, my wallet hates you.
Those things are dangerous.
They had all the classic 3D movies on sale.
Oh, did they? I had to stop looking after about 3 pages because
So the name of that movie is Special, by the way.
I should have stopped watching.
And he's convinced he becomes a superhero because of reaction to a medication.
Okay.
So Special is
okay.
As one of those, I couldn't remember the details, but I remember I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be fun. I mean, it's 58% on Rotten
Did it have
Tomatoes,
Woody Harrelson in it too?
Or
am I making that up?
No.
It doesn't matter. Not important.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right. Well, anyway, back to 47 meters below, which I have for the last month been talking about as 47 meters down. No, 47 meters.
It is 47
The movie
meters
is 47
down,
meters down.
Not 47 meters
I keep
below.
calling it 47 meters below. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. Anyhow, Josh, what would you give this movie out of 10?
We haven't been rating them lately. That's kind of funny. I keep forgetting to do that. I'd say I'd give it 2 stars. We'll get 2 stars.
2 out of 10. That's right on par for your
a couple surprise kills that were fun enough to watch.
Oh, that first jump scare is terrific.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a pretty scene. I mean, I comment on this while watching the scenery of the movie. It was very pretty as far as like the way that it was shot, and the landscape of everything. I really enjoyed that too. I thought it was really, really gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, what would you give this movie?
I would give this a 5. I did not hate it.
A 5.
I would not go out of my way for it. I'm not upset that I watched it. I don't feel like I wasted my time, but not my favorite thing. So
I was going to say, I would go so far as to give this a 6 even. It's thoroughly enjoyable. And I watched this back to back with the alligator movie Crawl.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Which is way too good to be on this podcast. It's really, really good.
I doubt it. I doubt it's way too good for this podcast.
Don't worry. We'll get, I don't know, August of the Alligator next year. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you put your favorite movie of all time in this podcast, and I thought it was a terrible piece of shit. So
I haven't put my favorite movie of all time on this podcast. I put
Cannibal the Musical
movies that I like a lot. Yeah. But my favorite movies are way too good.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, you have shown me some good people.
My favorite movie of all time? Right now, Hunt for the Wilderpeople.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably a good movie.
That's
actually a great movie. I actually really enjoyed that movie.
What about you, Josh? What is your favorite movie of all time?
Up for Oscars.
The Princess Bride.
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah. To me, it's. I hate answering that question because I don't really have a favorite movie of all time. If I have to answer that question, The Princess Bride is it, just because it's the perfect movie.
It is a pretty perfect movie.
But I actually showed my roommate American History X the other day because he had never seen it. That's a really great film too.
It is. It's a good movie, but it's like it's kind of like oh crap! I started to say it and then I just lost the name of the movie. Requiem for a Dream, where it's a great movie and I'm glad that I watched it. I cannot watch it again.
Yeah, it's harrowing.
Oh, I've watched that movie probably 6 or 7 times. Another movie I really love is What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams Jr.
I didn't really enjoy that one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one, but that's okay. Different people are allowed to enjoy different things.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you, Josh. It's hard to come up with a favorite. Once somebody had me join in on a Twitter thing where you're supposed to give your top 30 movies for the 30 days of November.
Holy crap.
It took me
I never get in on
a week to come up with a list of 100. I narrowed it down to 60, and I still think about it every single day. What movies I left off, what movies I should have put in. Like I can't do that kind of thing. Yeah, like
you got Redemption, which is a great film. You got Pulp Fiction, which is a great film. You've got Primal Fear, which is another great film with Richard Gere and Edward Norton in it.
You guys want to hear a secret? I have never seen Shawshank Redemption, and I do not care about Pulp Fiction. I've seen it. It's okay.
Wow. Pulp Fiction doesn't do much for me.
And then there's movies like Hard Candy, it's a really good movie, but also really screwed up.
Is that the one with Ellen Page?
Hard Candy, maybe. Ellen Page has been coming up a lot in my life recently. We've been talking about Ellen Page a lot because I just watched Warrior Nun, and the lead character, and that actually reminds me a lot of Ellen Page.
Anyway.
Yeah, it is Ellen Page. It's
I thought that was a good movie. That's one of those that, again,
Ellen Page and Sandra Oh are all in that movie.
It's another one of those that I'm glad I saw it once. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah. So, and then you get movies like Dogma. I love Dogma. That's a classic movie.
It's a good one, yeah. Yep.
So, and then Juno, another Ellen Page movie that's really great. I really enjoyed. Then, of course, there's Scott Pilgrim versus Evil.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yep.
Well, the world. That's what it is.
The 10th anniversary of that, as we are recording, was yesterday, and that movie is so good and does not get the love that it deserves.
Oh no,
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that if it comes on, I'll just watch. The Green Mile is another one of those movies like that. I'll watch The Green Mile whenever. Like I'll be scrolling through Green Mile, comes on, I'm like, all right, I'm watching this. I actually watched it the other day. So, anyways, so now that we're probably done this podcast because we're keeping Tony up way too late.
Well, I was going to say, you have anything left to say about 47 meters down Uncaged?
No, it was it was a crap creature feature. I didn't really like it that much.
Said all we need. Well, are you glad that Summer of the Shark 2020 is over?
Oh my God, so glad.
Oh, good, because you're going to love next month.
So The Meg was probably my favorite of the three, only because Jason Statham was being Jason Statham and also trying to be a comedic actor. So that was fun.
So what does happen next month, or do we know yet?
We don't know yet. I mean, I have a plan.
Okay,
but I can't reveal it just yet.
So I think I should get to pick a movie once.
I'll tell you what. Next year, I'll let you.
Okay.
But we're planned out the rest of the year.
I know. That's fine. I'll find a movie. I really want to watch Velocipastor. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm actually pretty excited about watching that movie.
But that's not a for this podcast movie.
Okay.
I have it on the list, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
it's on my list of things to watch.
It's in my Hulu.
I really want to watch it.
It's on Hulu,
I think it's on Prime too. I think
maybe,
it's on both. So it's somewhere, but I've seen it. But I really want to watch it. So, all right, guys. Well,
hold on. Do you have anything you want to recommend or plug before we wrap things up?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I've been doing a lot of baking lately, which has been kind of cool. So I've been taking cupcakes to my friends for free. It's been kind of my little contribution to the COVID madness. It's trying to bring a little joy to people here and there. So I've been having a lot of fun doing that.
What he's not telling people is that he licks them all first.
So if you guys
have
cool cupcake recipes you want to send my way, you can tag the podcast or whatever else. I would love to try cupcake recipes to try out. Trying all sorts of new things. So I've made some pretty interesting ones so far. I've been really enjoying experimenting with different cupcakes to kind of find some joy. So I like to bake, and it's been fun.
All right, Mike, how about you?
hopefully I will have a new episode of the Comic Carnival podcast with one Tony Troxel on it.
Oh, terrific.
Up before this goes up, but knowing my luck and how exhausted I am at the end of a day recently, we'll see. I have done the first pass, so we'll see. But
all right.
Yeah, so Comic Carnival podcast. Check us out.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything to plug, but I do have a recommendation. Since I've been watching Eurovision videos for the last few months.
Hey, yeah, ding dong.
Yeah. The actual Icelandic competitor for this year has a really awesome song that will get in your head called Think About Things. His name is Daddy Freyr.
I hear he actually did play Yeah, Ding Dong, though.
He did. And you could tell by the look of disdain on his face what he thinks about it. But yeah, look it up on YouTube because the video for Think About Things is hilarious. And if you find the performance that they used when they played Eurovision this year, it's pretty much the same, but it's also terrific. And the song is terrific. I think the one I recommended last time by Little Big, Uno would have beaten it, but there's no contest and they're both great. So look them up on YouTube. They're terrific.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, some fun hanging out with you guys again. I do enjoy doing this when we can. It's kind of a nice little break from the monotony of sitting home by myself all day long. So I do enjoy talking to you guys. I really love you guys.
I keep getting tricked into being on the mic.
Yeah, we enjoy your
I was going to say, I love having you on the show, Mike.
Although I think Tony may not because the show is a lot longer when I'm on.
Oh, see, that's one of the reasons I like it. It's longer and more complicated, like my games. So thanks for coming on, and I love you guys.
Yeah. Once again, thanks to Liz and Tony for, of course, helping us out here and everything else. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So I know you guys have your own lives to deal with, so I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your days to help us out during all this. But yeah, all right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.
See ya. Bye.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios located off beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Team Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Liz Shunn and Tony Troxel, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. And please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.